of all, actually, uh, the first topic is PC hardware only. Okay, but I stopped teaching PC hardware and basics of networking in a first day or second day of the class. Okay, okay. So first day of class, I'm not starting with the PC hardware because it's some people feel bored. Okay, so that's why. And lot of things are there in a PC hardware. You have to go one by one. That's why I changed my topic. First is how to check the system configuration, how to check the IP address, how to check the MAC address, how to check you got IP address from DHCP server or it is a manual IP. If you got APIPA, what to do? Okay, and also check your system configuration, check the available memory, total memory, CPU, CPU utilization. Okay, so these are all important. Of course, in that one also I have to next time for next batches I will include what we can able to do if system is become slow. Okay, so what is the question? If your system becomes slow, what you can able to do it? Okay, what is the thing? If system is not working, so where you start the troubleshooting steps also very important. That is we are going to discuss. Okay, so first of all we'll start with the basics of PC hardware means basic PC hardware components. This is a traditional block diagram of a computer, guys. So it is in so many years. Okay. So there is a input devices will give input to the CPU. CPU take the input. Input means it contains the both instruction and data. Input means it contains both instructions and data. So CPU take your instructions and data, process it, store in memory if it is required, and once the process completed put it on a output devices. So there is an input device, example is keyboard, and the primary input device is always keyboard only. All remaining input devices are a secondary part, but primarily input device is always main input device is keyboard, and output device is a monitor. Without a monitor you cannot do anything with your computer. Okay, these are the mainly components which is inside your cabinet. You take in this one we take an example like a normal computer. So this is called a cabinet. The box you are seeing, that is a cabinet. Inside this cabinet we have a certain components mainly on motherboard. Okay, on motherboard we have a processor, RAM, ROM, hard disk, solid state, sometimes SSDs. Okay, CD DVD connectivity, SMPS. Floppy disk is not available. Okay, not available. It's inside a cabinet. Next, outside of cabinet means things are connected to the cabinet, to the computer, right? So what are the things? You'll connect a keyboard. Keyboard you're seeing directly, right? So that's why I said outside of PC means we are connecting to PC outside. Inside CPU, RAM, SMPS, hard disk, CD-ROM, they're inside, but this is outside. Keyboard is there, mouse is there. Keyboard is a input device, of course. Mouse is a pointer device. Monitor output. You can see the what is going on your computer. You can see from monitor only. Printer. Printer is also output device. But some people, output device means they forget about monitor, they will tell about printer kind of stuff. Printer, speaker. But first is monitor, next is printer. Printer means it will convert your soft copy to hard copy. Soft copy means the data inside your computer is a soft copy. For example, I have a picture in my computer, it's a soft copy. I have a document in my computer, that is a soft copy. When I taken a printout, it prints on a paper, right? So then it is called a hard copy. Scanner converts hard copy to soft copy. For example, you have a document, a printed document, a certificate. you scan it and store in your computer in the digital form, that is called a soft copy. Of course, you will have a touchpads. Touch screen touchpad is for a mouse pad type only. Okay, so we have a touchpads. Touch screen, we can give input. We can select from the directly touch screen, like your mobile phone touch screen, tablet touch screen, laptop touch screens also there. Mic and speakers. Mic and speakers. So mic is input device like a voice. Mic receive voice and convert into electrical form. That is again convert into digital format like computer understandable format and all. Speakers, we can able to hear the voice. Card readers, Bluetooth devices, external hard disk. We can connect a external hard disk to store the data. Joysticks, game controller kind of stuff also there. Just for knowing devices. Okay, so this is the cabinet. So the inside a cabinet we have a components, main components like a power supply, SMPS, motherboard. On motherboard we have a processor, okay, CPU fan, and a hard disk connection, CD-ROM connections and all there. Okay, those are the main important components. First one is a CPU. So a lot of people think this is a CPU because a lot of people are habituated to say it is a CPU. That's why that is the thing is not coming out of mind now. Okay, guys, CPU is a nothing but a semiconductor device, means it is a simple chip. This CPU we can insert and remove from your motherboard. It is a brain of computer. CPU, central processing unit, it is your processor. Okay. So what is CPU do? Arithmetic and logical functions. Okay. So you can see he is inserting a CPU into the socket. Okay. So it depends upon the socket. You have to insert that relevant CPU, or you have a CPU, then the compatible motherboard you have to select, of course. So this is a CPU. So when you are checking for a CPU, every CPU having its speed is there. Okay, every CPU having its clock speed, 2.6 gigahertz, 4 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz, 3.6 gigahertz. Clock speed is there. And CPU, 32-bit CPU, 16-bit CPU, 64-bit CPU, like that. And every CPU having FSB, BSB kind of stuff. So FSB means it is, it will tell, FSB will tell what type of RAM you have to use. Depends upon the RAM speed. FSB, front side bus, will tell you. So what is the what type of RAM is suitable based on the speed. Based on the speed, 1600 megahertz RAM. Okay, 1333 megahertz RAM, 2666 means 2666 megahertz RAM, 3200 megahertz RAM, 2400 megahertz RAM. So that is we can decide from the FSB. This is so if now you go to the CPU, go to the CPU properties. We'll see that those things. Okay, cache memory. So every CPU having a L1, L2, L3 cache memories. Check the L3 cache memory, how much big it is, like a 3 MB, 6 MB, 8 MB, 12 MB, 16 MB, 24 MB. So L3 cache memories are there. Okay. So earlier days we have a single C processors are there. Now this processor are split into core processors. Means it's a single processor. It divided into two, means it's become a core 2 geo processor. Divided into 4 quad core processor. It divided into 8 octa core processor. Divided into 10 deca core processor. Like a when you are purchasing a processor or you want to go through the processor details, check the number of cores per processor, number of threads or a logical processors per processor, also check it. And nowadays we are purchasing a processor, compulsory purchase 64-bit only because of maximum our operating system applications are supporting 64 mainly. Okay, so better to purchase 64-bit processor. Okay, so of course, if you take 64, there is a possibility of virtualization, built-in virtualization technology in your processor. So that is also check it. Do you have a virtualization technology feature? Means like Intel VTX or AMD V feature inside your processor is there or not? Okay, of course you have to make sure that is enabled. Different type of manufacturers are there. Mainly Intel and AMD are main competitors in the processor manufacturing. Okay, of course earlier days we have via Motorola kind of stuff. Motorola is mainly famous for a mobile processor manufacturing. Still Motorola manufacturing processor, most of the places it is overtaken by Snapdragon. Qualcomm Snapdragon is now manufacturing processor for a different type of devices. But mostly Via and Motorola processors we don't use for a regular computer purpose, but like a mobile phone, routers, switches, tablets, that kind of stuff people are using. But even Intel mobiles also came. Intel processor based tablets and mobiles are came. That those kind of stuff is not successful. Okay. Currently, who are the computer processor manufacturers? Intel and AMD. Guys, as I said, a processor can be a 32-bit or a 64-bit. You know, first processor from Intel is 4004, that is 4-bit processor. Then 8-bit processor is came 8008, 8080, 8081, 8082 like that, and 8085. And there is a splitter is came like 8086 is a pipelining technology introduced in 8086, and from there a different okay 80186, 286, 586 kind of stuff. Then Pentium model are came. So Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Celeron, Pentium 4. Then single processor it is. Then it is dual core processor also came. Now we have a gold processors, Pentium M processors, i3, i5, i7 processors, i9 processor, Xeon processors also came from the Intel. Okay, but whatever it is, guys, in olden days, 4-bit, 8-bit is 16-bit is there, but later on days, what we are using, that is 32-bit processors, then 64-bit processor into market. Okay, to indicate it is 32-bit or a 64-bit, it shows like a 32-bit or a x86. Why x86? X86 represent not only a 32-bit, it is sometimes represent x86, sometimes represent Intel, because 8086 type of model we are using still now, that's it is x86 represents it's Intel. i386, i586 also Intel 32-bit. Intel 32-bit. Certain application or operating system or a hardware like a processor shows 64-bit or x86 under 64-bit, means Intel 64-bit. Some places it shows x64, sometimes AMD 64. From AMD, there is a 32-bit processors and mainly more 64-bit processors are launched. Okay, so that's why the 64-bit also we can people tell it is a AMD 64. Okay. So what is the features of 64-bit using? What are the features of using 64-bit? There is a virtualization technology in 64-bit. UEFI support instead of BIOS. Multi-core processing is there. Secure boot is there. Device driver signature is enforcement. Compulsory use genuine drivers only. Okay, required more RAM capacity, disk capacity to work with 64-bit. Okay, guys, what is this 64-bit, 32-bit? The instruction set, instruction length or data length. So one single word, it is 32-bit in 32-bit processor, 64-bit in a 64 processor. So one size of instruction is 64-bit in 64-bit processor. The operating system also must be same, 64-bit only. Okay. So what are the things must be compatible for a 32-bit or a 64? You have to check the processor 32-bit. On processor it is 32-bit. The device drivers also 32-bit. Operating system also must be 32-bit, and an applications also 32-bit. Better to use compatible one. If you are using a 64-bit processor, on processor 64-bit, it is device drivers also should be 64-bit, operating system also 64-bit, application is better to use 64-bit. What is a 64-bit 32-bit? It is a architecture of processor or a instruction length of a process in the processor kind of stuff. Okay, compulsory you have to use your operating system device drivers as per your processor architecture. Guys, this is about your basically a processor, and of course few more things you can able to tell about a processor is there. Okay, each processor compulsory check their pin numbers. So you can see this what is the type of, it's a pin processor, non-pin processor. Check the pin processor, check the compatibility with the motherboard. Okay, so that is also very important. So once processor is installed, you have to install heatsink. Okay, this is called a heatsink. On processor we have a metal part is there. It is built by aluminum, some alloy kind of stuff. What is this heatsink will do? It absorb the heat from the processor. When your system is running, processor will get heated, and this heatsink will absorb the heat from the processor. And what is the use of that fan? The fan is a exhaust fan, means it cool downs that heatsink. It cool downs, it take out the heat from the heatsink. So then we can able to make sure that your processor is maintaining temperature properly. If in case fan is not running, heatsink will get more heated. Heatsink don't get a cooling. Then what happen? Processor will get heated. Processor is getting heated. Either a processor will be damaged. To prevent a processor from damaging, system will be reboot continuously. Reboots continuously. Just I am adding this point. Okay. Okay. Okay, I will copy this one. So it will tell what is the simple way to heatsink. What is a heatsink? Okay. Next, if heatsink fan stop working or heatsink not sit, heatsink not sitting on CPU properly. Okay, your CPU will Power heated. Will get a CPU will get a overheated. To prevent, sorry, to prevent from damage means burn. Okay, prevent CPU will get overheated. Okay, to prevent from the damage like a burning kind of stuff. Okay, system restarts itself. System restarts itself. Okay, so here it is. One point, guys, in a troubleshooting. If your system starts itself, again, meaning is it's a possible CPU overheated. Two ways you can able to do it, and so many other reasons also there. So this is the one of the reason. CPU is overheated. What to do? Check heat sink and heat sink paste. It's a heat sink and heat sink paste means it is a thermal paste is there. I will show you that thermal paste. Okay, how it is look like. Heat sink paste. This is
Excuse
a
me,
heat
sir.
sink paste. So tell me.
Sir, what is heat sink?
Okay, so yeah, I will tell like a simple. This is a processor. Okay, look at this is a processor. Okay, this is small chip is a processor. On this processor, the processor while it is running, processor will get heat. Processor will get heat. For example, you are in a kitchen. Lot of smoke came, right? Like some people, put a deep fries are there. Lot of smoke will come, lot of heat will come. What you will do it? We'll put a exhaust fan, right? If you go to hotels, you can see the hotel kitchen area outside. So there is a exhaust fans are there. What is the use of this exhaust fan? It take the heat from inside to outside. Instead of putting a cooling inside the kitchen, so we'll put a exhaust fan means it will remove the heat kind of stuff that heat thing is going outside of that kitchen. So then we can maintain the temperature. Same way, these are the heat sinks. I will put a heat sink only then. Okay, these are the different type of heat sinks. See this? This the metallic part you can see that is a heat sink. It sits on your processor. The heat sink sits on your processor like this. Okay, so you have to sit. We have to make sure it is should be sit properly. Gaps should not be there, but there will be a micro gaps are there. There is a very tiny micro gaps will be formed in the heat sink. So between heat sink and a processor. What is the use of this heat sink? It absorbs the heat. It absorbs the heat from the processor. Or any chip like you have a a big power ICs are there. So different type of heat sinks are there. So our point is computer related heat sinks only. Okay. I'm not going with all other heat sinks. Cooler masters like that. So different type of heat sinks will be there. Okay. So here it is. So the proper sitting of heat sink must be there. Okay. So proper sitting on a processor. So even you set the on the processor properly, but there will be a micro gaps. To remove these micro gaps and observe the more heat, to observe the better heat from your processor, you have to apply a heat sink paste. You have to apply a heat sink paste on a process. It is a heat sink paste. See, this is the processor. First is applying a paste. This paste is a different cost. It depends upon what you are purchasing. Okay, they will apply the heat sink paste on this processor. On the heat sink paste, we have to put a heat sink. So then it will make more good contact between your heat sink and your processor. The heat sink paste used to make a proper contact between your processor and heat sink like this. First apply the heat sink, then put the processor on it. Put the processor in it. You should not put like this, like overly don't put it. So you have to spread evenly on a processor. And this heat sink not be over, like it may be like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Heat sink paste will be like that only. Okay, no need to change frequently also. In case of heat sink paste, or heat sink is not sitting properly, or heat sink paste is someone is clear, like you open a system, you cleaned up the heat sink paste, or maybe because of the dust while you are dusting, the heat sink paste is also cleaned. In that cases also, check the heat sink and is there a heat sink paste is there or not. Okay, first of all, okay, check the heat sink paste, and whether fan is running properly or not. That is very important. Next one is dust in heat sink. If you see this heat sink, it is not a straight metal part. It is the heat sink is directly. You can see there is a gaps, like a plates kind of stuff is look like a some plates, some towers kind of stuff. Means there is a lot of gap between one layer to another layer is there, right? So dust formation is more. So dust in heat sink also may cause. So clean dust using some brush kind of stuff. So clean the dust. So if you dust in a heat sink, clean the dust. You're not sitting properly, sit it properly, remove and put it. If heat sink paste is not there, put the paste. Okay, that is very important. So, and also I'm trying to show guys, this is your laptop heatsink. Laptop heatsink, not like a CPU heatsink. Normal computer heatsink is different. Here it is a CPU, and on top of the heatsink, on top of the CPU, there is a heatsink. On top of heatsink, there is a fan. But here it is different. It is a different. See, it is this part, the side part, actually sitting on the heat sink. So you can see this is the processor. So on this processor, they will put a this heat sink assembly. Okay, they will put a heat sink assembly. So heat will be absorbed and transferred through this copper rod. So here it is. Heat will be absorbed here and transferred to through this copper rod and sent to this cooling system. So this is the air vents. This is the thing. Okay. So some people put their laptops on their laps, means on thighs they will put it. Some people are a very good people, that is they will put a laptop on beds, or they'll put a one cloth and then the first they will put a a cloth, and on cloth they will put it. Okay, so some people put it somewhere like in a dusty areas. Guys, be careful when you are using a laptop having a sensitive vents. Even for a desktop also, some people keep that the cabinet some very secretly, means some inside box. It should be in a open place. It should be the cabinet or a laptop should require a ventilation. What is the use of ventilation? So the heat generated in a system will easily escape from the ventilation. If you are doing closer, when in the olden days we have a method like to uh, radios and TVs are very costly. You purchase a TV, then there is a TV cloth. You purchase a refrigerator, there is a refrigerator cloth. Okay, always there is a cloth on it with the multi benefits in it. Okay, so you purchase a computer, then there is a computer cloth. Okay, computer cover, refrigerator cover, TV cover is like a computer cover. If you put a cover and using a computer, like if you are not using, you can put a cover, but if you are using a cover while you are using computer, you are putting a cover, the heat is cannot be escaped. Next one is, if you put a laptop on bed, the air vents are closed and the bed having lot of dust is there. The dust will particles will go inside your laptop. It cause problem to your laptop. So guys, that is also keep thinking. Okay, the dust formation, so prevent it from the dust it, clean it. Okay, that is a main important. So one of the reason why system is keep restarting means you start a system and system is started and restarted continuously. There is a possibility is there. So either the thermal paste is got clean, or fan is not working, or heat sink is not sitting properly. And last one is the cleaning, means the dust form possible. This dust formation is really happened. I've seen all these possible, all these pollens. But for dust, is mainly some people don't think there is a dust. Because of dust, also we're getting a problem. What happened? There is a computer which is near to a window. So usually students, when they are in the lunch time or no AC time, they will open this window. So obviously more dust is coming and then it is went inside your computer. So why it is going happily go to the computer part or laptop? Guys, it is system is running lot of electromagnetic tiny micro voltages, micro amperes kind of stuff is also there inside. So obviously these charge particles will attract the dust, tiny dust particles as compared to heavy charge particles. Okay, this will be attract, and so then the dust will sit inside your computer. Okay, so clean up this part. Okay, that is enough of your processor because there are a lot of things are there. Compulsory read, guys. Next important is after processor is a memory. Primary memory, secondary memory. What are the primary memory things? RAM and ROM. RAM is a random access memory. Okay, ROM is a read-only memory. 1 second. Okay, so random access memory, read-only memory. So RAM is a volatile memory, ROM is a non-volatile memory. When you shut down your computer, Okay, when you power off, data in the RAM will be gone. So that is called a volatile memory. Volatile memory is like a temporary type. Power is gone, data is gone. ROM is a non-volatile memory. It means even you shut down your computer, still data will be there inside. That is called a non-volatile memory. Okay, but that is different point now. So important again, RAM is changeable because lot of people get a doubt. RAM idea is there, but where is this ROM kind of stuff? Okay, RAM read only memory. Sorry, RAM, random access memory, it is a changeable memory, means I can insert a RAM, I can remove the RAM from my computer. That is possibility is there. It is, we can add additional RAM, we can remove the RAM, we can replace the RAM. But ROM chip is not like that. ROM is a chip. Why ROM is a non-volatile? Because of the data or instructions are written in the ROM chip when it is manufactured. And generally, ROM chip manufacturing, at the time of manufacturing of ROM chip, the instructions and data will be written inside the chip directly. RAM is not like that. RAM loads data from I/O devices and store and give it to the processor. So RAM is more useful, like it is a kind of data transmission type. Means it load the data, it give the data, it load the data, it will give the data, or it load instructions. Okay, it load instructions and give the instructions. Okay, that kind of stuff is RAM. So RAM, even if you are power off or on, it never store any data permanently. Even you keep a power on the system for 10 hours, 20 hours, 2 days, 3 days, the data, and while you are also using the computer, so that what are the data in the RAM, even you power off your system or not, data will be clear in a every cycles, like means it load the data, it will give the data that type. Okay, first of all we'll see the RAM is a primary memory, main memory, primary memory, main memory. RAM has a two types mainly. It is a volatile memory. Of course, two type of RAM memories. One is static RAM, dynamic RAM. Static RAM is much faster than a dynamic RAM because of in a static RAM they use pure form of transistors. Okay, so static RAM used for a cache memory which is built inside of CPUs. L1, L2, L3 cache memories are there. So which is all these three cache memory stores inside your CPU. Using cache memory, CPU can able to transfer the data to the RAM or take the data from the RAM through the cache memory only. So I will show you that cache memory picture also. See, it is a CPU. CPU contains mainly two units, arithmetical logical unit and control unit. And there is a RAM and IO controller. IO controller, every device is connected through IO controller. So IO controller knows what is the device, what is the device number, location of the device, type of the devices and all known by IO controller only. IO controller, it collects the data from input output devices, IO devices, like instructions data, data from hard disk or CD-ROM or a keyboard or a pen drive. Okay, so instructions data from various devices and give it to your, load it to RAM. RAM will load to cache memory give it to CPU, and CPU to cache memory to RAM, RAM to IO controllers, IO controller give it to the any the respective devices, like that monitor or anything. So the cache memory is directly say it is intermediate between your RAM and CPU. The cache memory use it to balance the data transmission speed between RAM and CPU because your RAM is slower than CPU speed. Dynamic RAMs. Dynamic RAMs is called a DRAM. In a DRAM, there is a several type of DRAMs are came. So one is a SD RAM, which is directly a DRAM. means it's a synchronous dynamic RAM. And ECC or ACC RAM, EDO RAM, VRAM, so many other RAMs are there. So I'm not going to RD RAM, so many other RAMs are there. I'm not talking about it. So this is DRAM. DRAM is further developed into SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM. Okay, then the required speed it is matching with the SDRAM. Then it is DDR1 is launched, means double data rate synchronous dynamic RAM. Okay, that is a DDR. The DDR become DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, and the new one is DDR5, which is available for a 12th generation, certain 12th generations, well, not all 12 generations. Okay, so this is about a your basically RAM. RAM-ROM differences. RAM is a primary memory, main memory, volatile memory. Different type of RAMs are there, like SRAM, DRAM. In a DRAM, we have a SDRAM. Then it is developed into DDR. DDR become DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5. Okay, so when you go to buy a RAM, so compulsory check the compatibility with your device. Okay, so RAM specific usually like a GBs, MBs, terabytes kind of stuff possible. RAM speed. Okay, what is the speed of RAM? It is a different type of speeds are there, guys. Depends upon the RAM model. 13 1333 megahertz processor or 1600 megahertz processor, 800 megahertz processor, 1900 megahertz processor, 2100 megahertz processor, CPU, sorry, RAM. So different RAMs having a different clock speed are there, and RAM sizes and voltage levels you have to verify before you upgrade or replace the RAM. Okay, different RAM packages are there, guys. So earlier we have a deep packages, then it is a single inline memory module, dual inline memory module, RAM bus inline memory module type. And there is one more type is called a SODIMM, means small outline DIMM packages. Generally we are using laptops. The laptop RAMs are look like a different. You want a RAM for your laptop or a mini PC, you have to go through this kind of small like RAMs. Means it is not like a small and large one. It is look like something cute one. Okay, so it is. So here it is. This is the RAMs. This is DIMM. Yeah, where it is. The first one is DIMM package, regular RAM, like a desktop RAM. SODIMM is for a laptop. Okay, SODIMM is for a laptop. These are the laptop RAMs. Okay, so what is a non-laptop means regular DIMM packages are a laptop RAMs. Okay, so each RAM has a different specific pin size. Like a DDR having some pin size, DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5. So people are having different pin numbers. Okay, so you have to compulsory check your RAM is compatible with your processor and motherboard. Compulsory check the motherboard. Okay, okay. I told about static memory and the picture is completed. Yeah, it is all about a ROM now. So that is read-only memory. Type of ROMs, like a read-only memory means it is a simple circuit or a simple chip. It is already given instructions and data when manufactured, when this chip is manufactured. That is read-only memory. Type of ROMs. Type of ROMs are like a ROM is there and it is developed into PROM. Means it is a chip. The chip is manufactured, given to the required person. The person will program it as per their requirement. Next one is erasable programmable read-only memory. Next one is EPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. EPROM means it's a rewritable thing. Means you can remove the data and reinsert the data bank. Okay. So it's a type of memory. What is this ROM content? Well, ROM content a program. The program we call it as a firmware. And what is that firmware? It is in a, for as per a computer, it is a BIOS or a UEFI firmwares. What program in your ROM? ROM chip contains a program that is called a BIOS or a UEFI related program. Okay. So that is we call it as a firmware. Every device, like you have a mobile phone, smart mobile phone, normal mobile phone, or anything. Okay. So when you power on this device, so the device knows how to start a one by one system. Okay. So that is like a that is a firmware. Okay. So what is this BIOS content? What is this firmware contains? Okay. It's about your motherboard details. Whenever you insert a processor, RAM, hard disk and all, it gathers the device information stored into your BIOS only. And also BIOS maintain clock. Clock means date and time on your computer, which is given from the basically a clock. Okay. Oh, what happening? Yeah. BIOS also used for a boot the processor means when you power on the system, the BIOS will verify all the devices in the system is working or not. Okay. BIOS having a BIOS setup inside a setup, so you can see what is your basic hardware devices, and also if you want to change certain properties of a certain setting, like enabling, disabling some feature, or is changing the certain future value, we can do it in a BIOS settings. To go to the BIOS settings, first of all, you have to shut down your computer or power down your computer, restart your computer. You can go press the respective key. Okay, respective key. Okay, press the power button to like so. When you press the power button, then immediately start pressing your BIOS key. How do you know which BIOS key is yours? You can try F2. In the olden days, we tried Dell. Later, a lot of computers are having different type of login screens like F2, F10, F12, F11, F19. Okay, so once you are going into the basic BIOS settings, okay, so then we can check the date and time running good or not. You can set the password for a user and what? We can enable, disable certain features. We can change the boot priority. Means when a system is, when I press the power button, from which device I priority I have to load the operating system. So I have to load the operating system from CD-RAM or network or removal drive. Like you have to choose the priority. We can change the priority. Kind of stuff. So once you are done with your BIOS settings, just press F10 to save and exit. Guys, what are the password it is showing for a BIOS password? It is different for a user operating system password. So both are not same. Okay, so up to here. Now take a small break, guys. Take a 10-15 minutes break. Have a TR thing. We'll continue from motherboard. Okay, we'll continue motherboard and one or two other components. Then we'll come back and we'll discuss other things. Okay, take 10-15 minutes break. No, sorry. 4 5, right? So then it is 4:10, 4:15, 4:20 maximum, 4:20, 15 minutes break. Okay. So have a tea or coffee, come back and we can continue.